What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Working Immersive Podcast. I am Chris Fonte, the CTO of Customer XR. Today we have back Brian Colon, the head project developer here at Customer XR. And today I wanted to use some time to maybe talk about the apps we have out that are available. For example, the Customer XR Showcase. That's probably our most in-depth app. It has 6 different experiences, proof of concepts that we have built for various brands. And you definitely spearheaded a lot of the development on that. Would you like to talk about, how you started it and how everything's kind of like built off of one project?
Yeah, so start from the beginning. I guess the first app that was created to even get there, to even start a showcase, was, I believe, when we made the bath fitters one. The bathroom customization, which was heavily focused on the tub and the hardware and the wall tiles in there, but we definitely added some cool stuff. We could customize the paint, just, so the person who's using the app to get an idea of what they're designing in their bathroom, they can match it to what their bathroom actually might look like. From there, we moved on to a kitchen app doing almost the same exact thing, but with cabinets. A third one added, actually, 2 more that were added were some older projects that we had brought back to life for enterprise apps, and that, I believe, was Egress Pros and RoofMax, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so that was 4, and then I believe the last 2 recent ones was I think we swapped it out, but it was the hotel experience that I believe we swapped out for Koala, because we have Innisfree as a separate app now, which demonstrates our 360 stereoscopic video stuff. So to get all that in there together was actually a nightmare. The apps were built in different versions of Unreal for one reason or another, and then it turns out that some of the newer versions of Unreal, beyond 5.4, have this weird bug that when you load into a level, all the assets pop in by one at a time by themselves. Never happened before. So since all those newer apps were in those higher versions of Unreal Engine, I had to downgrade them. That's not a supported feature by Unreal. So I don't know his name. I gotta get his name. There's a guy who made a very specific, I believe it was a fork of Unreal that he built inside the ability to downgrade assets. So I had to do that for almost 4 apps, and that might sound, oh yeah, 4 apps, cool. All right, it was almost every individual app I had to, asset. Thankfully not stuff like textures or sounds, but anything that was built like a blueprint, anything that was Unreal exclusive, the map itself, just we did it.
It took a lot, but now we have one kind of like standardized project that we could just build on whenever we have a new proof of concept that's going to be part of the showcase. We just started off as a new level in this same app. Yep. And in the past, we've also basically taken levels from that showcase project template and then spun them off into their own apps. Basically, that's how Innisfree started. Yeah. So the Innisfree app is our other app that's available. It's separate from the Customer XR Showcase, and it's meant to give an example of XR immersive tourism, basically giving somebody a chance to visit a place without actually having to go there. Yeah. And we chose this place, Innisfree, in upstate New York. It's a beautiful garden. There's a huge lake with I think it's about a mile around the lake. And basically we went to the different spots that Innisfree chose as like their, highlighted spots and placed a 360 camera there, record it. Now we have an app where you feel like you're actually standing there in full 360 stereoscopic video. So like I said, it was built off of a level that we took out of the showcase and made it into its own app. So that was actually just for the Meta Quest version of this app. There's also a Apple Vision Pro version, which I think is actually superior, but that app had to be built, obviously we didn't use Unreal Engine for that one. Apparently there are ways to use Unreal in the Apple Vision Pro that we are exploring, but instead of doing that, we just built it natively with Xcode, and it made it came out very nice because it was built with Xcode Swift UI. They just look really nice. It's made for the Apple Vision Pro. And it looked so nice, in fact, that I tried to create the Unreal Engine app and basically recreate the UI from the Vision Pro in there. So, I tried to recreate the menu movement with the finger, the UI windows you could X out of and stuff. I would say I got about halfway there, but it definitely feels better on the Vision Pro. But MetaQuest is accessible, so we wanted to target both platforms. Have you tried the Innisfree app on the Vision Pro?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it feels very good. It feels like more like it was built for the Vision Pro.
Very crisp.
Yeah, it's very crisp. We're pretty proud of it. Another app that we built, not really an app, but more of a world, was the Customer XR world in the Horizon Metaverse. That was an interesting one because we had to use the Horizon engine to build that. But basically, it was almost like a demo or like a preview of the Customer XR showcase. When you first walk in, you're kind of in this big, like, open area, kind of like it's like you're walking into our own building, basically. And on the sides are little kind of interactive areas where you could experience just a kind of a taste of what each of the Customer XR apps from the showcase do. Yeah. For example, bath fitters. We have a little section for them where you walk up, you see an old messed up bathtub, and you get to press a button, and then it switches to the new bathtub. And you could go back and forth. So super simplified version of what we built for the showcase. But it's cool that it's like in this world that you could just explore with your friends in the metaverse. Metaverse has been another interesting topic. A lot of people are saying the metaverse is dead and stuff just because of what's happening with Meta and the recent layoffs. But there's many other platforms that you could use to experience the metaverse. For example, VR chat. Have you tried VR chat recently?
Not recently. A few times in the past. Collected all the Halo Spartan armor I could find.
Yeah. I was actually a Master Chief with the Christmas hat for a pretty long time in there. Because, like one of the last times I was like playing was on Christmas, and I just found this little Master Chief with the Christmas hat. I just kept it. So there's a lot of cool things in VR chat. I think VR chat's not going anywhere. They've been getting better and better, and they've been pretty steady. And maybe if Meta Horizons isn't doing as good, it doesn't make me lose hope, as other people seem to have. That the metaverse is like dead. It's it's pretty thriving. If you see something like VR chat, now there's RP1. There was also Neos. Remember that?
Unfortunately, that shut down, didn't it?
Yeah, Neos shut down, but Neos was like even better than VR chat.
I agree.
It was like you could do some crazy stuff in there. You could build 3D models and then bring them right into the world and like change them in real time and stuff. And you could like edit videos in there. You could bring in your desktop. It was wild. Like I think it was like too good.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, man, I wish we still had that to this day, bro.
Yeah, we used to meet up in Neos and have meetings and stuff. Yeah, we can still do that now, but it just doesn't feel the same. But I think a lot of the people from Neos probably just pivoted to VR chat. Same thing, like if Meta Horizons goes anywhere, people just pivot to another metaverse. There are people that are enthusiasts that have found communities and friends in these metaverses. So, you're not going to be able to take that away from them. They're always going to find a new way that they could, maintain contact with these people in a virtual space. And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're doing a lot of stuff with the metaverse. We actually just finished up Winter Jamz. So the Winter Jamz concert was in Horizon Worlds. Bunch of artists. I think there might have been like 20 to 30 artists that came together. We had 3 stages, and we basically just went up and performed for people that they paid for tickets, and then they were able to come to the world and they saw this virtual concert. And I thought it was pretty cool. You were there, right? And our other partner, Kate, she was also there. So they had a great time. Do you have any feedback on that?
I think the concept is really, really cool. The avenue used to get it done clearly was not designed for it, but that I was so baffled by the resourcefulness. DJ Manny and his team did what I said in the last episode. They found how can they get this done? Not, these are reasons why we can't. It was incredible. I can't wait to see some sort of app or something that caters to them and what they're doing. Like, yes, that was amazing. I can't wait to see it mature.
Horizon, apparently they're making that new engine, which has the capabilities of having up to 100 people in one server. I don't know. I've yet to try that or yet to see it, but if that is the case, then we could ditch the whole idea of we have to have multiple stages. The only reason we do that is because, you have like a limit of like 30 to 40 people per world. So you have all your guests in the audience. You can't also have 30 artists also like taking up space. So we have a hub world. It's basically like a backstage little area where we basically just hang out until it's our turn. And then once it's our turn, we go to the world, perform, and then go back. That way we keep space open for the people that are actually like, ticket holders and people that paid to be there. But if there wasn't that limit, it would make it a lot easier. We could have just one giant concert. It would also be cooler because the crowd will be bigger. Like the crowd is like some on the smaller stages, the crowd feels big. But I know Universe Dragon, he's one of the people that helps us, and he built a whole stage in Meta Horizon that I think was probably the coolest out of the 3 stages. I don't know if you saw it.
Pandora? No.
Pandora's cool too. But this dude, Pandora is like, wasn't built for Winter Jamz. This dude, Universe Dragon, he built a world that was a stage for specifically Winter Jamz, where you're basically in a big kind of like cube. And then once you press a button in the control booth, it like opens up, and then you see like this whole like winter wonderland world like, all around you.
Was that last year's stages? I saw that this year.
No, it was this year, but that was like not one of the stages you went to.
Yeah, I only got to see 2 out of the 3, so I guess that was the one I missed.
Yeah, so that was probably my favorite stage, but it was so big that it made the crowd seem little because there was like a lot of people, but they're like spread out as opposed to the stage you were on, which was stage 1. A little bit more condensed. It made it feel like you're with those people. It felt more visceral. It felt more like you're at a concert. So you're right. I think I also can't wait to see what we do when we have better tools. Like if this Horizon engine does allow us to have up to 100 people, then maybe we could start using it for Summer Jamz, which is the next concert we're going to be doing in August in the Metaverse. And yeah, it would just make logistics a lot easier to not have to like jump between worlds and stuff. So we'll see what happens with that. We also have RP1. Do you have any thoughts on RP1?
I tried it at one time, and also a very cool concept. We went to our office here, and then we walked up a few blocks away to your house. So that was cool. Everything's just a block for the representation of the house. But conceptually, it's awesome. I can't wait to see. It's not the first time I've seen something like it, so I really can't wait to see someone take it to the finish line. I believe Earth 2 was one I've heard of before RP1, which is trying to do the same thing. And their digital real estate is something they're trying to push. So it's like, listen, there's only one of these, and you can only have one spot, just like in real life. So, but I think, both of them are still in their earlier stages. So conceptually awesome, but yeah, I want to see more.
I know RP1's working a lot with the Metaverse Standards Forum, I believe they're called. So they're trying to, make everything as open and safe, as possible, which perhaps is something they're doing differently than something like Earth 2. Like they're kind of taking a more like collective approach. Like they're getting a lot of people involved. Everyone's got say. They're not trying to be greedy or anything. So I also have a lot of hope for them. And yeah, you mentioned we went to our office. The way we got our office in there was through photogrammetry with Polycam. I basically scanned the office, made a 3D model of that scan, and then imported it into RP1. Photogrammetry and Gaussian splatting is something that I've been kind of researching a lot lately. I think it specifically can help a lot with the immersive tourism stuff we're doing. Apple just released this thing. It was I forgot what the exact name of it was, but it basically makes a Gaussian splat from one image. You just put one picture in, and you get a whole 3D environment from it. It's not super detailed, like say you have like a rock here, it's not going to know what's behind the rock, obviously, so it's kind of like empty space back there. But if you stand in one spot, you get that 3D effect, which is something that we kind of lose with the 360 video only. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way we could combine that with the 360 videos to just make it more, that much more immersive for people. And then maybe one day we'll get to the point where we could just scan a whole park, and then you're just there and you feel like you're there. the rate of technology that it's improving right now, I think we're not too far from that. So have you ever tried anything with photogrammetry or Gaussian splatting?
No, not personally. I do want to. I've been looking at stuff like that for years now. With the goal of bringing real life objects into the 3D worlds I'm messing around in or developing. A lot of the time, I ended up leaning more toward just trying to recreate everything from either from scratch or getting assets that look very much like the place I'm trying to recreate. Because to me, I think we can all agree the Gaussian splatting stuff is still like, if you're trying to have a real level of detail, if you're trying to have a higher level of detail, it definitely is not there yet. But I do have a lot of hope for it. That's what I want out of it, higher detail. I know you can do very great detail for individual objects, but like if you're trying to do an entire room, everything kind of, the chair will be like chunky, the tables will be chunky, stuff like the poles and all that would be, a little wobbly. And so, I want to see more crispness from it. But other than that, no, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now you really have to scan everything individually if you want that, every individual object to be super high quality, which could be very time consuming and, not feasible for a lot of these projects, especially when you're out like with Innisfree, you're there for like, a couple hours and, you just got to capture what you can. Yeah, I think you can get to that level of fidelity. You just need, like I said, scan everything individually. And yeah, I think Gaussian splatting is probably the next thing we're going to probably introduce into our Innisfree app in some way or another. Like I said, I've been working on it pretty hard, so we'll see where that goes. But yeah, one thing, as you know, that we do a lot in these podcasts is we ask AI for a random business, and then we try to fantasize about what that business could use XR for. So let's try it out. Can you please give me a random business type?
How about a board game cafe? It's a cozy place where people gather to enjoy coffee, snacks, and a vast library of board games, making it a hub for social interaction and fun.
Interesting. So another cafe, but this one's a board game cafe. One thing I'll say is that board games in VR is actually works pretty well. They have Settlers of Catan on MetaQuest where you could log in with different friends and then you guys play Settlers of Catan like on a virtual table. And there's like cool effects and stuff, makes it really immersive, and you're able to play with people even if they're across the country. So, if you had a immersive board game cafe where you had some of these headsets available, you could have multiple cafes in multiple different parts of the US and they all can kind of connect and play with each other in this like same world. Basically rent a headset. Your friends in like Colorado, they also rent a headset from this place, and then you guys both could play Settlers of Catan. There's other board games too that you could play. So have you tried a board game in VR?
I have not. I have seen a lot of footage of different things, but I have not tried it myself. But it seems cool. I don't really play board games in real life, but I can imagine that in VR or AR, you have like, all the magical action that you would imagine is happening with effects and all that. I imagine that's awesome.
Yeah, that definitely is. Like you could make it, kind of like spruce up the experience by adding these like cool effects and stuff. I know, Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that can benefit a lot from XR. There's things like Roll20, I think it was called. It's like a website where people could basically like do run campaigns, but like virtually. So it's like, it's almost like Zoom. Like you have everybody, but they're able to like roll dice and stuff, and they see like a shared screen of the board and everything. Translate that to XR, and it just becomes that much more real. Feels like you're actually sitting in your basement with your friends playing Dungeons and Dragons. You could even have an AI dungeon master that's like creating this world for you. So I think that that's something we're going to probably see soon. Recently, Google made that. I forgot what it was called, but it was basically you just describe what you want and it makes a game out of it.
Oh, Gemini 3? Genie 3.
Genie 3.
Yeah.
So you saw that?
Yeah, I did. I have mixed feelings about it. Right now it seems to be a move character across Surface Simulator, but we already know that doesn't mean anything. It's going to get more advanced. It's going to get way more accessible. Worries me as, in the future I want to make games, but then it's like, oh, if everyone can make them, then I guess I won't be doing that anymore.
Yeah. I know that the I saw some examples where there was characters like pushing like spheres and stuff. So there's like some physics collisions and stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, you can't really, interact or do that many cool things. And definitely can't do XR stuff in it yet.
Last thing I saw was a game about a pack of cigarettes sliding across the floor in New York City.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the character.
So like, a lot of these cool AI tools, it's just ultimately going to be used mostly for memes at this point.
I guess so.
But we'll see. Maybe we'll be able to use them in a more functional way at some point. It'd be cool if you could just like generate an environment, if anything, that would, seems like it's able to build like a optimized environment, which, that's something. I would like to be able to do that and bring them into Unreal Engine. I think that'd be pretty cool. Back to the board game cafe. Another cool thing I remember seeing at the MIT Reality Hack last year was a demo somebody built for the Apple Vision Pro that actually used the personas. Like the basically you scan your face with the Apple Vision Pro and it makes a digital twin of yourself. Yeah. So you had this big square board game thing, it had cards on it, and then you see the other people's persona across from you, and there wasn't any rules or anything. You just had the cards, and you just if you want to play like poker or blackjack, you just use the cards to play it. And there's like some other things like dice and everything, and that's just another example. Like if they had some Apple Vision Pros in this board game cafe, makes it that much more real when you have that person's persona in front of you rather than just like a avatar from Meta Horizons. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's something we talked about on another podcast episode with my friend Leland. We were talking about how the personas and the likenesses, which is like Galaxy XR's version of the persona, is going to entice a lot of the people that are more, maybe mature users. When they see avatars like from Meta Horizon, they're like, oh, it's like little cartoony kid avatars for a video game. Yep. But if they're able to use a character, like a persona where it actually looks like themselves, they feel like they're, not talking to a cartoon. I think it's going to bring more people into the ecosystem. You want to give us a little, I know we can't talk too much about it, but we're working on that app relating to cars. And talk about that a bit.
Yeah. So again, can't name names, but this brand has free training on their YouTube channel. So, look at the view count and it's like, okay, how many people actually benefit from this? Probably not many. Many people probably don't care to see a 2-minute video on how to change your oil, and especially not from the brand. Like, they're going to look it up and they're going to click on the first video that comes up, and it's probably not that one. So, we spoke to them, like, how can we evolve this concept? We also want to, it was us wanting to test evolving a concept like that. How can we turn that content as already training content, just same words, use the content as already directed toward training somebody or something, or even a tutorial, and turn it into an actual interactive application. So we're really just turning those videos right now into almost one-to-one, step-by-step, hands-on versions of it. So it's like, okay, not only you're learning from the watching, which you're probably not going to go actually do. You're like, forget this, I'm going to just take it to the shop. Hey, I actually just did this in VR. Hey, let me go out to the back and see if I can do it on my own car. You know, so it gives people more confidence, I would think. So yeah, that's what we're working on at the moment. Yeah,
the training in XR definitely increases your confidence for doing the actual task tenfold. That's the main driving factor to a lot of these training apps we're building. Although this one is more customer facing than internal. Yeah. It's going to give anyone the chance to figure out these how to do these things for their car. And then perhaps we'll get more in depth with a internal training for them if they would like, where we could run through training for more intense, intricate things. But yeah, I'm excited about that one because it's going to be a training app, but also customer facing. So it's a cool combination of two of the things that we've been working on, combining them. And we'll probably have that maybe available in the showcase in some form at some point. So stay tuned to find out when that's available, and then you'll be able to download it yourself from the Meta Store on your own MetaQuest. I think we'll wrap it up there. We talked about a lot of good stuff. You're the Unreal Engine wizard after all, so I'm glad that you were able to come out and, we work pretty closely together, but this is like one of the first times you're on for the podcast. So, hopefully you're on for a couple more episodes, many more, and we'll see you again at that point.
Yes, sir.
But until then, thanks for watching the Working Immersive Podcast. Stick around. We'll have more coming at you soon. And thanks for watching. See ya.